Welcome from EULA 2026 here in London. It's Wednesday afternoon, and we've just been finishing our first Paris Fishbowl session on the topic of young people taking the lead, transforming rheumatology care and research. I have with me two of the speakers. It's Catherine Wright and Mariana Carvalho. Thank you very much for joining us today. I would like to start with you, Mariana. You are the EULA Young Paris leader. You are also a patient yourself and a researcher. Can you maybe talk to us a little bit about the transition process? Why is it so important for young people, this phase from being a child, young adult, and then into adult rheumatology? And what are some of the challenges that people are facing in this process?
Thank you, Michael. The challenges, as you might imagine, are very, very different because when you're a child, you have certain goals, and then when you are a young adult, you have another very different goals. You might be studying, you might be starting to think what your life is going to be, what are you going to do for a living for the rest of your life. And then when you are an adult as an active member of the society, so you are working, you have to live by your own, or you have to start to build a family, so the challenges are very, very different. So I think that it is very important that all these three phases, so childhood and then being an adult but not a real adult, and then being an active member of the society, it's very important that these three phases are joint, so in the sense of people have someone to support them through all of them. This process is facilitated, that all these challenges are addressed in every phase, in every phase of the process.
Thank you. Another topic we touched on was social media and also apps that young people are obviously using a lot more nowadays. What are some of the benefits that people can get from it, and also maybe some challenges or things where social media can be also a hindrance for young people if it's the wrong kind of sources that they're taking it from?
So for me, I believe that social media is a very strong tool because that is where you can get information in a very quick way. The problem here is that you mentioned there might be some wrong information, and we have to make sure that we are getting the right information from the right sources, from trusted sources. So in my opinion, we have a strong role, but we have to collaborate with each other. So patients have to collaborate with health professions in rheumatology, with, in this case in EULA, EmuNet, so with young rheumatologists. So we make sure that the information we are giving is the right information, it's trustworthy. And then I think we can share the other sources of trustworthy information that there are, so that people can go to the right places to find the right information for managing their diseases.
Yeah, thank you. I think that is a very important point. And lastly, I want to talk to you just quickly about peer support. And also, I think that as a father of a child with rheumatic disease, I see that children often respond better if they talk to their peers than to their parents or maybe their doctor. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about that?
I think that is true. And if you try to put that in other areas of our life, I think we can communicate better with someone that really understands what we're going through. So even though it's not that we don't trust our doctors, it's not that we don't trust our parents, but they cannot feel what we're feeling. So when we talk to peers, to other people who are living with diseases, who went through what we're going through, it's a lot easier to share. It's a lot easier to find that information as good information. Because if our doctor tells us, maybe we're like, I'm not sure if I want to do this, but then if we find that other people did that, it's easier for us to accept that. It's easier for us to share and to start new strategies, for example.
Thank you. Thank you for that insight. And over to you, Catherine. You are working for Arthritis UK, and you are involved in projects that involve young people in research. So can you maybe tell us a little bit about that and how something like that could look in practice?
Of course I can, Michael. So I am Catherine Wright. I'm a Young People and Families Manager for Arthritis UK. And a lot of my work is about speaking to young people on a daily basis, working with them in clinics, providing support services. But in terms of the research, that side of it is really through my role in Your Room. And Your Room is a group for young people between 11 and 24 who have a rheumatic condition to come along to and comment on research that involves them. So a lot of the times researchers maybe haven't come out to groups like Your Room or spoken to people who have the condition that they're researching in. So Your Room is actually trying to join those two dots. I think it's really important. I think young people need to be involved. I think young people should be involved. I think that quote, nothing about us without us, if you're doing that, it's about you, is very, very true. And I think young people should be at the heart of every researcher's research before they've even come up with the idea. I think young people should be involved from the very start. And my experience in your room has taught me that that is so invaluable. Researchers have said it has changed their perspective. It's changed what they thought they were going to look into sometimes. And I think that's really key, because otherwise, what's the point in researching anything if it's not of value to the people who it's supposed to be about?
Absolutely. And some kids might actually think that they can't contribute, or research is just for scientists and for doctors and professors. What can you say to them to motivate them to join the projects and stay with the project?
Yeah, I hope they don't feel that. I mean, I think this, your room and the research that we're involved in is not necessarily about, sometimes it is about science, sometimes it is about data, sometimes it is about very technical things. But the fact that you have a lived experience is so invaluable. That experience is what you're bringing to your room. It's not about your science knowledge or your data knowledge or your, biology knowledge. It's about your experience of living with a condition. And your room is for 11 to 24-year-olds. We have fantastic 12, 13-year-olds who are more than capable of advocating and talking about how the condition affects them. And I think that is the key to a group like your room. It's for everybody. And please don't be put off by thinking that you don't have a voice. You absolutely do.
Thank you, yes. And finally, what if someone wanted to involve young people in research? What kind of tips could you give them when they start off?
I think you have to make it really interactive. I know from a lot of my work is about speaking to researchers, how they're going to run their session, how they're going to make their research come alive. I think you have to think about what's going to make a young person interested in this. I think you have to think very carefully about how you're going to do that. I think you need to make your sessions interactive. You can do it in lots of different ways. People think research has to be very complex and has to be funded. Sometimes it can just be Post-its on a flip chart in a waiting room. It doesn't have to be. It can start somewhere. And young people want to contribute. Young people want to make things better for other young people like themselves. So I think that researchers just need to take that leap of faith and give it a go. Come to a group like your room and ask for some advice if you want some, but you just need to make it fun, make it creative, and make it understandable.
Thank you,
that would be my
Catherine,
advice.
for this great insight, and thank you, Mariana, for taking part and giving us your young people opinion on it. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. We are here at EULA 2026 in London, and we hope you have a good rest of the day, and hopefully see you again at some of the interviews for tomorrow.